What's up, everybody? This is Greg with Advantage One Brokers, and this is the ADV1 podcast. This is a podcast we come to you each and every weekday with relevant topics and trainings, and we bring on guest speakers. For today, we have a very special guest speaker. We got Mr. Mike Wsol from Kansas City Life. He is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing. This is going to be very exciting because this is a new carrier that we have. A lot of agents have not been able to tap into. So, Mike, how are you doing, man?
Fantastic, Greg. Thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to turn it over to you, Mike. I know you got a lot of stuff, and agents are going to love this one because, like I said, they've never been able to. A lot of them don't even know about Kansas City Life. They've never been able to get contracted with them. So I'm really excited to learn about your guys' products. I know that you have a good presentation in store. So I'm going to go ahead and share your screen, and we're going to get on with it. So go ahead.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. So just to introduce Kansas City Life a little background on Kansas City Life, because a lot aren't familiar with it. They were founded in 1895. They're a fourth generation family owned company. They're excellent rated. And I think one of the most impressive things, Greg, is they have zero debt. I mean, how many companies can say zero debt that they have? I think Kansas City Life really prides himself on that zero debt. So a lot of great things happening with Kansas City Life here. Now, on the next slide here, the products, everything highlighted in red, that's the simplified issue product. It's known as the Signature Term Express. We have a 15-year, we have a 20-year, 20 with return of premium, 25 with return of premium, 30 and 30 with return of premium. And we'll dive into that real deep today. But that is a simplified issue product. Now, everything in blue highlighted, that's for fully underwritten. Now, that does require a medical exam, but it can go accelerated underwriting. Accelerated underwriting is up to $1 million as long as that client falls within standard or prefer plus rating. You can avoid that medical exam. We have a traditional term product, level 10 through 30. But the next one is very unique. It's the return of premium, not to be confused with the simplified issue one, but it is fully underwritten, can still go accelerated. But if you're looking for that policy, maybe you need a $10 million death benefit with maybe a return of premium. This is your product. And also next, you have the universal life. You have the premier protection. It's great for the senior market. Next, Index Universal. We have the Compass Elite and EquiFlex. Two great programs, and we'll touch a little bit more on that one today as well. And last but not least, we have the Whole Life, the Value Assured, and the Value Assured in 20. Two great whole life programs that do have living benefits. But the Value Assured in 20 is a fantastic program. It's a 20-pay whole life, and we'll dive deep into that today as well. Okay, so let's start off with the Signature Term Express. Issue ages on the 15, 20, 30 year, the minimum age is age 18. On the 15 year, you can go to maximum age 65. Now, we will be changing that in Q1 of next year. That will be going to age 75. On the 20 year, the max age is 60, and on the 30 year, it's 50. Minimum face amount, you do have 50,000. If you need something lower than that, we can just pivot to one of the other products. Maximum face amount, we do have 300,000. And by the way, we are increasing that to $500,000, probably about Q1 of next year. Available classes, we have non-tobacco and tobacco. And the rates are sex distinct, meaning that females are always less expensive than the males. So they will get a break. Okay, so let's talk about the living benefits. These are automatically included free in the product. And on the next few slides, I'll dive a little bit deeper into each one of these specifically. But do we have an accelerated death benefit up to 80% for terminal illness, chronic condition, and critical illness? We also have a residential damage waiver premium and an unemployment waiver premium as well. Okay, so let's talk about the triggers for the living benefits. For terminal illness, it's a future life expectancy of less than 12 months. That'll trigger up to 80%. Chronic condition, you have 2 of 6 ADLs or severe cognitive. And last is critical illness, heart attack, stroke, invasive cancer, renal failure, and major organ failure. That would trigger up to 80%. And again, the cost for this is zero. Okay, some additional provisions that are free built in. We have the residential damage waiver. So if your client has 25,000 or more damage to their homes, maybe a fire or flood, Kansas City is going to waive the policy premiums for a 6-month benefit period. Also, unemployment waiver premium, if your client happens to lose their job, Kansas City will waive those policy premiums for, again, 6 months. So 2 amazing features, just adds a lot of sizzle to the sales force when they're out there pitching it. Now, some optional riders, these riders are available for additional premium, and they're very inexpensive to add. We have the waiver premium. If your client is totally disabled, they will waive the policy premiums for as long as they're disabled. Issue ages are 18 to 55 on that. Accidental death benefit, the max you can add on is additional $200,000 for accidental, very low cost to add on. And then we have, last but not least, the children's term insurance. So that starts at 14 days old. They can have that policy to age 25. At that point, they would have to convert to a permanent policy, such as an index universal, whole life, or even a universal life. But all three are extremely low cost to add on. So let's talk about the strengths of the Signature Term Express Simplified Issue. Fast underwriter approval and issue. When you write a application, as soon as you submit it to Kansas City, they're issued within a few hours. They're extremely fast, and they're very, very agent orientated. They love working with salespeople. They're not trying to blow you off the phone and rush you off. They'll take the time with you, and that's what I love about Kansas City Life. They're always willing to help. They know what the sales force goes through, and they're there to work with you. The next, your own underwriter. I think it's really impressive because each salesperson, you have your own underwriter. So when you talk with them, you develop a relationship. They'll even take second looks at things. So if, for example, let's say you had a truck driver who's on a blood thinner. Blood thinners usually knock everybody out of SI products. But, they'll take a second look and say, well, listen, this individual is a truck driver. They use it as a preventive because they sit all day long, maybe 15 hours at the wheel. They could develop blood clots. It's really not a heart issue. We've seen a lot of those go through. So you can turn those around sometimes by talking to the underwriter, and you have full access to your own underwriters. I think that's a very impressive part of Kansas City Life. Also, this is an exclusive product, so your competition won't have that. Now, we do have a special concierge line set up for this. It's at 8535 extension. So, you just can't call into home office and say, hey, I want to talk about the Signature Term Express. They won't be able to help you. So that's why we have a special line set up just for all the sales reps who are going to use the Simplified Issue product. Again, it is exclusive to all you. Next, strong mortgage protection benefits included as provisions, as we just went over. They're very strong, adds a lot of sizzle to the program when you're out there selling it. Next is return of premium. We do have, when you offer the return of premium, critical, chronic, and terminal illness up to 80%. And I think it's really great. Some companies out there, when you add the return premium, as you lose out on the critical and chronic illness. You keep the terminal, but you lose the other two. With us, you'll keep all three. And, the other difference between us and other companies out there, I'm thinking of one right now. They have the same feature return with the critical, chronic, and terminal. But if that client stops their policy prior to year 25 on a 30-year term, they get none of their premiums returned. We start after year 4 already getting a prorated amount if the client decides to cancel. So that's just an amazing feature that Kansas City Life has built in. So it's always prorated return of premium. Something else with the acceleration with that return of premium. When we accelerate, let's say we're accelerating 80% of the death benefit coverage. Once we accelerate that 80%, there's 20% that will remain in force of that death benefit. So later on, if that client passed away, well, they can keep that 20% paid out to a loved one. A lot of companies out there, what happens is once they accelerate, doesn't matter what that dollar amount is. For example, if you had a $100,000 death benefit with another company, and let's say they only accelerate 20,000, that policy is surrender. They lose out on that additional 80,000 with some companies. So with us, that remaining 20% or whatever it is will go to that beneficiary upon death. So we always have that remaining balance of that death benefit waiting there for loved ones. So we feel that's a great feature of our return of premium. Age is always last birthday. It's never nearest. And this is convertible to a permanent policy. So after 2 years, if the client wants to convert to a permanent policy, they can convert to a whole life policy that has living benefits, and it'll take them for the rest of their lives up to age 120. And here's the best part. It's a guaranteed issue. When you convert it, you don't have to worry about their health. It doesn't matter if their health has taken a turn for the worse. It won't make a difference. They have to take them. Okay, let me take you through an example monthly premium. We have a male age 45, standard non-tobacco, 150,000 face amount. So on the Signature Express 30, with all the provisions built in, it's $99 a month. For a few dollars more per day, you could add the return of premium as $156 a month, and they're getting all their money back with all the provisions and the critical, chronic, and terminal. Okay, let's go into a little bit more depth on the return of premium. So we have a 20-year return, a 25, and a 30 return of premium. So on the 20-year ROP, issue ages are 20 to 55 on non-tobacco. Tobacco is 20 to 50. Age, again, is always last birthday. 25-year, it's the same issue ages, but there's a great story with the 25-year. A lot of sales reps, what they'll do is when a client has a 30-year term, what they'll do is offer the 25-year with return of premium. So at the end of 25 years, that client gets all their money back, which they'll be able to pay off with that money the last 5 years of their mortgage. So a lot of salespeople love using it. It's a great story to tell to your clients. The 30-year return of premium for non-tobacco, it's 2050, and tobacco issue ages are 2050 as well. Again, age of last birthday. Now, policy fee, there is none. So that automatically makes us less expensive than our competition. And motor loading, there is none as well, which makes us even less expensive. We have one of the top return of premiums in the industry. Client options, at the end of that return of premium, they have choices. They can continue with the coverage. There's cash surrender, extended term insurance. And that extended term insurance, Kansas City is the only one in the industry that has the extended term insurance. Then they also have a choice of the reduced paid up. Let me explain a little bit more what that means to you. So the client choices after 20, 25, or even the 30 year. Number one, they can continue with that same death benefit at a higher premium. Number two, they can surrender the policy with 100% return of premium, take the money and run. Or number three, they can stop paying premiums and continue coverage with letter A, a reduced face amount, or letter B, keep the face amount for a calculated number of years. Let me show you what that looks like. Here's an illustration. We have a male 45, death benefit of 150,000. Let's take a look at the maximum premium column. So this client could, have increased premiums, maintain the 150,000, maybe not the best choice, but take a look at the next column, the cash value. They can surrender for cash value. So at the end of 30 years, they'll get a check back for $56,205. They take the money and run, policy's over, and what they paid in, they get back. Next, we have the paid up insurance. This is a reduced face amount. So instead of the client taking back $56,205, they let Kansas City keep it. What we'll do in return is give them a face amount of $93,300 in this example, death benefit, and they can keep that for the rest of their lives and pay nothing for it. It has living benefits, cash value accumulation, so it's a paid up insurance policy. Now the last column here, the extended term insurance. This is an amazing feature. Now Kansas City is the only one in the industry who has the extended term insurance. So basically it's a reduced coverage length. So meaning this, instead of taking back that $56,205 to the client, Kansas City keeps it. What we'll do in return is maintain that $150,000 death benefit for that client for an extended number of years. In this case, it would be 12 years and 154 days, and then their policy is over. But they don't pay a dime for it during this time. So 3 amazing features for the client, and that just puts you in a position of strength when you're out there selling. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the underwriting for the SI product. It's all simplified underwriting from $50,000 to $300,000. Bill chart, yes, make sure you look at that. They will take a look at height and weight, of course. Bill chart's very lenient. Someone 5'7" can go up to 264 pounds. So 5'7", 264. They will look at the MIB, okay, to underwrite this. Pharmaceutical check as well. And motor vehicle report. Now, from ages 18 to 45, they're going to pull it automatically. It's mandatory. But ages 46 through 65, it's only as needed. If something got triggered, then they'll take a look at it. Other than that, they're not going to take a look at it. Phone interviews, they do some random, 1 out of 500 for ages 18 to 60. I mean, so the chance of you having one are pretty slim to none. Mandatory phone interviews are ages 61 through 65. From 50,000 to 250. Now, here's the best part. you could do that at the time of sale. They're open at 9 p.m. Central, and it's a very quick phone interview. It would take maybe 10 minutes at most, but is member mandatory for 61 through 65 ages, from 50,000 to 50. Now, if you sell over 250,000 to 300, that's a mandatory phone interview for all ages. But again, do it at the time of sale. They're open Monday through Friday up to 9 p.m. Central. Okay, so height and weight guidelines, you can find that in the Agent Sales Guide. You'll find that at ikclife.com. Make sure you have one. This way, you know if someone's 5'7" and 300, we'll have to pivot to a different product. Okay, you know the max is 264. Prescription drug exclusion list, there is one in the back of the Agent Sales Guide. If you don't see a medication on there, you're probably going to be approved. And as long as the height and weight is within normal, you're going to be approved. Next, application questions 1 through 7. Questions 8, B, and C on pages 3 and 4 must be no. If they're no, you're probably getting this approved. And as long as the drug prescription list is cleared and height and weight is good, you're getting it approved. Last but not least, must have purchased or refinanced a home within the past 2 years. Now, we will be changing that next year, Q1 of 2022, to make it 4 years. Okay, so that will be changing for us. All right, I want to talk about KCL's illustration system next. So for all e-apps, running quotes, agent sales guides, if you go to www.ikclife.com, you'll be able to access all this. Run quotes, you can do it from a mobile phone, but you just have to get into ikclife.com. Use tablets, desktop, it doesn't make a difference. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about some whole life products here. The first one I wanted to touch on is the Value Certain 20. Great for the senior market, but also great for children and grandchildren policies. You know, a lot of salespeople leave those on the table when, you know, a lot of people have children, grandchildren. You could write this amazing product on it. It's a 20-pay whole life. Now, it is fully underwritten product issued up to age 80. However, if you keep the death benefit below 50,000, it becomes non-medical. Now, this is always day one coverage. This isn't graded or a guaranteed issue, but it's very inexpensive compared to a normal final expense product. It also has a 4.5% interest rate accumulation for the cash value. It's fixed. Just remember, keep it under 50,000 and it's no medical exam. If someone's very, very sick, they could obtain medical records on the underwriter's discretion if they want, but traditionally they're going through pretty simplistic. Now, the client will pay the premiums for 20 years. After 20 years, the client will stop paying premiums, and they keep this policy up to age 120 years old and not pay a dime after year 20. Death benefit is as low as 10,000, and if you keep it under 50, remember, it's not medical. If you go 50,000 plus, it could go accelerate underwriting if the client qualifies for it. If not, they would just need blood and urine. But also, if you're looking for a $500,000 whole life policy, this is your product as well. And again, it could go accelerate underwrite. So you need $500,000, million, doesn't make a difference. Kansas City will underwrite any of those amounts. Doesn't matter. Okay. Also with this program, the illustration resembles a lot of the simplified issue product with a return of premium. The cash value can purchase paid up insurance where the client doesn't have to pay anymore and they keep their policy, or the extended term insurance as we went over earlier. One last thing, it does have living benefits, the whole life. It has an 80% chronic and 80% terminal illness, and that's free built in. Now, if the Value Certain 20 is a little more expensive than the client wants to pay, we can pivot to the Value Assured. Now, the Value Assured has the same design as the Value Certain 20, but it's not a 20-pay whole life like the Value Certain. It is fully underwritten, and the product is up to age 80. Non-medical, remember, under the age of 50. Death benefit, again, starts at 10,000. You can write to whatever you want, but the client will pay premiums up to age 100. After age 100, they can keep their policy to age 120. Again, still has a 4.5% interest rate fixed, and it still has living benefits, 80% chronic and 80% terminal illness. Just give you a little example on the Value Assured, comparing to other companies that do final expense. Let's take a male 65 non-tobacco. On the Value Assured 25,000 The premium is only $103.60 per month. Compared to other final expenses out there, for $25,000, you're about $150, $160 per month. So you can see there's a drastic change in that premium. You can actually offer the client a little bit more coverage if you want, or just saving money. For $35,000, the premium is only $142.85 on the value assured. A lot of the companies for $35,000, it's $181.16. So you can see the pricing is amazing with these two products, and it's amazing for the senior market and as well as children and grandchildren policies. Next, let's go into the IULs a little bit. If your client's looking for, cash value accumulation, this are two amazing products that you can utilize. It is fully underwritten product. Again, it can go accelerated underwriting up to $1 million. It's very easy to understand. Product design is very simplistic. 5 index accounts, and it does have living benefits. It has 80% chronic and 80% terminal illness. Now, if you take a look at the EquiFlex here, it's the lowest cost IUL. Issue age is 18 to 49. The minimum is $100,000, but you can write it to whatever you want. You want a $20 million IUL? Kansas City is going to underwrite it for you. Doesn't make a difference. Now, for issue ages 50 to 80, the minimum drops down to $50,000 on up to whatever you want. Now, you have to remember this is nearest age. So when you're doing the software, make sure you type in the client's date of birth. Okay, it's not age last like the SI product, so it is nearest. Now, the Compass Elite, that's the next IUL, and that could be written on children. A lot of sales people love writing this on children, so that is an option if you want to. But ages 0 to 17, the minimum face amount is $50,000. On ages 18 to 49, minimum is $100,000. And ages 50 to 80, it's $50,000 minimum. Okay, and remember, it's age nearest. So let's talk about the strengths of the EquiFlex IUL. It's a very competitive cash accumulation, very aggressive. Again, living benefits you have built in there, acceleration of 80%. It's a very, very low cost premium. And the index loan is available. And here's the nice part, it's a 2-year rolling target. So meaning this, if your client's paying a minimum of $200 monthly premium at minimum. So the sales rep will get paid the first year and on the second year. Most companies don't pay on the second year, but Kansas City will because it's a 2-year rolling target. Let's take a look at the EquiFlex. It's a very low cost product. If you look at the 20-year toll charges, Kansas City is one of the lowest on the open market. This is for a male 45, prefer non-tobacco, $500,000 death benefit, option B, with an annual premium of $4,800. As you can see, the 20-year toll charges, they are the least in there. So they have a very low cost internal charges versus a lot of the other companies on the open market. Okay, next, the Compass Elite. The product strengths, again, very competitive cash accumulation. They do have the living benefits of the 80% chronic and terminal illness. There is a buy-up cap index account. Again, you can do juveniles on there as a great product. And if the IUL doesn't fit, again, you have the whole life that you can do on juveniles as well. Index loans are available. There's a high target premium. And again, you have the 2-year rolling target with this. And if you need any help with running illustrations on Index Universal Life, maybe you have a buy-sell you're doing, Steve Zeta at Kansas City Life, he's our guru on the IULs. He made all these products, the Compass Lead, EquiFlex. Please call him at extension 8535. Just ask for him, and he can run you illustrations. If you're looking for a money stream set up with IULs, he can do all that for you. So we do have individuals on hand that can design these IULs for you. Okay, as we're talking about the children, grandchildren, those whole lives, the value assured and 20 are great for the children, grandchildren. As we talked about, the Compass Elite is another great product. And if you need those set up as well, please call Steve Zeta at Kansas City Life. He's more than willing to help you and design products for you for your client. So let's talk about notifications, email notifications. So when you submit a simplified issue product, the Signature Term Express, Kansas City is going to send you email notifications. When they receive the application, you're going to get an email notification from Kansas City. If there's an additional requirement, usually there's not a simplified issue, but if there is, you'll get notified immediately. Once it's approved and issued, Kansas City will email notification as well. So you don't have to really go on a a pending report on a dashboard to look up your cases. Is it issued? Is it missing something? Kansas City will throw out email notifications all the time to you. So if something changed with it, they're sending out immediately. The case has been declined or withdrawn, they'll email you that as well. And they'll also tell you you can flip it to a different product. And this is the product you can flip it to. And maybe it has to be table rated or whatever, but they will let you know. So you have to call up and waste time. You'll know exactly what you can do. You can pivot and take it to that client. Okay. So this is what you can expect next year in 2022. We're looking at Q1 of next year. We're increasing the ages to age 75. So we'll get a little bit higher older individual clients for this. There will be a 10-year. Right now, we only have a 15 as the lowest term we can go. We will be adding a 10-year starting Q1. Also increasing the face amount to $500,000. So 500,000 will be increasing that. I think we'll probably be one of the highest ones on the open market. I think most companies are about 400 right now. We will be moving to 500,000 face amounts. We will be coming out with a decreasing term product as well. It'll be a lower premium with a decreasing benefit. And last but not least, a provision built into the simplified issue called the critical injury. So if the client has a critical injury, maybe brain trauma, burn patient, they'll accelerate as well. So some great features coming in 2022 we're very excited about, and especially that increased face amount of 500,000. We're very excited about that. Contact information. The biggest thing you want to know is extension 8535. That is the concierge service for the simplified issue mortgage protection product. And you can get transferred from that extension to anything. So if you want to be treated like gold, use extension 8535. Do not call up the main number. This is here for you guys. 8535. Please remember that. Licensing, contracting, Carol Palermo at peoplesprotection.net. That we are the marketing arm for Kansas City with People's Protection. That is her direct number. So if you have any problems with licensing or contracting, please call her or email her. Underwriters at Kansas City, we have Chris Stark on the simplified issue at extension 8702. Become best friends with him. He can help you through. He'll take second looks at certain cases if something didn't go through. He's more than willing. Nick Armour, another simplified issue underwriter, extension 8895. He also knows fully underwritten. So if something didn't fit with the simplified due to maybe you're getting a risk assessment, he can tell you where to go with that, what product. Next, for fully underwritten, we have Todd Taylor, extension 8322. Again, e-apps are available on ikclife.com. If you're old-fashioned, you do paper apps, you can fax all applications to the 800 number here, 863-1445. But I have a feeling most everybody's on e-apps now. It's fantastic and quick. I got to tell you something with Kansas City's e-app. It's very simplistic. It's almost like doing a real app. It just flows. The app is very convenient, very user-friendly, especially for the client. You don't have to keep going back and forth like some companies to the client to get a HIPAA release. Everything is done in one shot. The client's signing. It is so easy. Once you start with the e-app with Kansas City, you'll never want to use another e-app. It is that easy and that simple. Commissions, Matt Milray, extension 8736. He's a supervisor for commissions and accounting. If you need anything with that, please call him. All right, that's my email. If you have any additional questions.
Can you hear me better now?
Gotcha. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, so I had to fix it. What I was saying, I'm gonna just edit that out. What I was saying was, you came in, you had a lot of great information when it comes to all the different products. I think what we'll probably do in the future is maybe do a deep dive in some of them, specifically maybe the EquiFlex. We have a lot of agents that are writing a lot of IULs, and so I think that having a real good deep dive in just one product would be good. But this was a great overview for agents to kind of get a little bit of knowledge of Kansas City Life, where you guys come from, what they have to look forward to in store, and the products that they'll be in their toolbox. And so I know there's two different websites to access for like the e-app, and then also and like run the quotes, but then also there's like an agent portal. So this is the first time I'd gotten the ikclife.com website. Mm-hmm. If I created my agent portal on a different website, does that same login transfer to the iKC Life?
So they usually have a different login for the portal. So ikclife.com is basically where you're going to find like everything you need. The e-app. The only thing you're not going to find on that is fully underwritten pending business. So that's
Okay.
where click.net comes in. That's where you'll be able to go through, like when you write IULs and different things for fully underwritten, you'll be able to view that. Again, with a simplified issue, they're going to send emails right to the agent. So this way, when it's approved, and they're getting approved so quick, Greg, it's amazing. I mean, within a few hours, once they submit the application, if it's within business hours, within 3-4 hours, it's approved. I mean, they move quick. That's the best part about this. But to answer your question fully, yes, it would be a different login for click.net. IKC Life is just really, here's the quick quoter, run your illustrations, e-applications, product guides, training. They have training videos for e-application, but the e-applications are amazing. They're very simple. It's like doing a real app with a pen. That's how fast it flows.
Okay. That's amazing. Mike, thank you so much for taking the time to come on board, talk to the agents, educate them, and really show them the power behind, having a partner with Kansas City Life. So I appreciate your time, and I look forward to our continued relationship and just building and growing together. So
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And, whatever we can do, you let us know, and we're here to help. Most of us have been in the field as mortgage protection field agents. We've been out there. I've been started MP back in 2000. So we know what you guys go through, and we're here to help.
Absolutely. And for everyone, for all the agents watching, thank you so much for taking part in the ADV1 podcast. I'm your host, Greg Birch, and we're coming to you each and every weekday. So if you're watching this on YouTube, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and make sure you turn on your notifications, because we want to make sure that you're getting this information as it comes out live. If you got any value out of this, if you enjoyed learning about Kansas City Life, if you learned anything, if you got any value, if you were entertained or educated in any way, shape, or form, but here's the fee. It's very simple. Share this with somebody else that can learn or can grow or can get some kind of value from it. If you got nothing from it, don't worry about it. But that's the value exchange that we have. That's how we keep the lights on. That's how we continue to bring you